truly, I'd like to welcome you because I know we are up against a tight deadline. Anybody who's been to a Congressional Black Caucus Week know that there's a party going on now. There's a party over there, and a party even up here in the caterer's office. By the way, Virgie is on the way, guys. Anyway, let me welcome you officially to the Metropolitan Congress of Black Women. We are here because of Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. I know I look about that age, but when the congressman here, Barbara Lee, can attest to it, when Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm decided to put together an organization that would specifically empower African American women, this was the organization she decided to put together. Congressman Lee was always there. But we went to New Jersey, and real quick story. In the room was Congresswoman Chisholm, Dr. Dorothy Height, National Congress of Negro Women and National Council of Negro Women, former Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated president. Woo! Right. Malcolm ex-wife, hello, call her name for me. Right. Martin Luther King's wife, call her name for me. We're all in the room. And me and my friend Johnny Rice, we were the ones that went and got coffee for them. That's exactly what happened. I would have done anything. Licked a stamp, I would have done it. And we went and created, and I saw these women create, Lottie, an organization that said, we are worthy, but more important, she says, I am unbought and unbossed. That's what she said. My personal surprise and gift that Dr. and Shirley, and we were able to call each other that at that time, behind closed doors. I was nominated to the board. Didn't know what's going to happen. And the other person in the room was Angela Davis. Woo! And Angela Davis put my name up for board. I was shocked. Under here is an afro, and it almost stood up straight. I was so honored, so pleased. And from then on, I knew that I was going to be challenged to do the right thing. So here we are, the Congress of Black Women, in the likeness and image of Shirley Chisholm, Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American female to run for president, the founder, one of the founders, the only female for the Young Sisters of the Congressional Black Caucus. Let me say that. The founder of this weekend, Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, sat in the room with the brothers like Conyers and Diggs and Dellum and others and put together what we're seeing and celebrating today. That's the sister that we're doing this event in the likeness and image of her. And the women and men who are celebrating it today, they speak her truth. Woo! They speak her truth. These are women that decided they were going to walk in the light of Congresswoman Chisholm. And with that, we're going to make sure that you see them, acknowledge them, and know them. We have a number of things that we want to do. Miss Virgie Rollins.
Virgie M. Rollins is the chairwoman of the DNC Black Caucus and a veteran political strategist with a distinguished career in politics and public service. She's recognized as one of the most influential women in the country, dedicating her career to empowering African Americans and ensuring their voices are heard in the political process. Rollins has played a role in electing African Americans to office and addressing critical issues such as voting rights, healthcare disparities, education, and criminal justice reform. She has collaborated with party leaders nationwide to ensure African American and women inclusion in decision-making processes and encouraged participation at every level of the party structure, including public office. Rollins has also served as the past president of the National Federation of Democratic Women, traveling across the country to organize women, raise funds, and support the election of female candidates. A seasoned fundraiser, she worked as a political strategist for the late Detroit Mayor Coleman A. Young and was appointed Assistant Director for the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulation by Governor James Blanchard. She was also a consultant to the late U.S. Commerce Secretary Ronald Brown and appointed Liquor Control Commissioner by Governor Jennifer Granholm. Rollins' leadership extended to national campaigns, serving as co-chair for President Obama's presidential campaign and working with focus groups. She also serves on several prominent boards, including the Michigan Council of Governments, United Way, Metropolitan Affairs Coalition, Operation Push, and AARP, while chairing the National Federation of Democratic Women, PAC. During President Clinton's administration, Rollins led a delegation to Taiwan as a guest of Taiwan's president. Her extensive contributions have earned her awards, including Money Magazine's Best and Brightest, the nation's Capital Medallion Award, the Spirit of Detroit Award, and the National Leadership Council Award, and received both the Martin Luther King Jr. Lifetime Achievement Award and the John Lewis Good Trouble Legend Award. A proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc., Rollins is married to Michael Rollins and is the mother of 2 sons, Michael and Martin, grandmother to Miles and Gigi, to 2 adorable great-granddaughters.
This is too much. Is this the Oscars or what? Am I getting a Academy? This is Academy Awards. Oh my God. And I thought she was Annette Rainwater. Doesn't she look like?
Oh my Lord.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you guys. I am kind of low key, as they all know. I kind of stay in the background when I'm needed. But I do thank you. Thank you all so much. My girl over here, I told her she's coming right behind me.
Yes, she is.
We train her.
Yes, indeed.
And she does a lot in Detroit.
So
and
much.
Livonia has been with me from the beginning. We have worked together all down through the years, doing everything. I don't know what to say. And this is my co-heart, Lottie Shackelford, who's the Women's Caucus Chair of the Democratic National Committee.
Right.
And I would be remiss if I didn't introduce my Southern Regional Director, Grace.
Yes,
indeed. Grace. And to all you Black women, this is so beautiful. Just looking out here, because I know now it's represent what we're going to see in the White House.
Yes.
I mean, this is outstanding. I am just overwhelmed because I had no idea. I just thought I was going to come and you were going to say, thank you so much. Thank you. And to be standing here to get an award with Congresswoman Barbara Lee, who also serves in our Black Caucus, who mentors me, who shared so many. We fought the good fight at the DNC, made sure that they stayed with what they needed to stay when it came to diversity. You know, I started out, I am number 7 of 16, and my dad was a Kojic bishop, and he was always saying that he was raising leaders, and he was the only African-American pastor in a little place in Benton Harbor, which is now predominantly Black. When I moved to Detroit, I'd never seen this many Black people in my life. So guess what? I joined the Black Panther Party and worked there, and my husband thought I had a nervous breakdown because he came home and Angela Davis and H. Rap Brown, and we lived in the bishop's house, had come, and it was just 2 blocks from the riots, and Livonia remembers. And they had guns all on the floor of the house. And that's when John Conyers and Mayor Coleman Young said, "Fool, get your fist out the air and get a seat at the table." And I've
we
had
are.
a seat at the table ever since.
Yes, you have.
So I've served as chair of the congressman who was my mentor, who taught me how to grassroots organize, and then was a political strategist, helped Mayor Coleman Young get elected. And working for Mayor Coleman Young, if you read his book, you know, he cussed a lot. Taught me how to be real tough, but yet understand where the rules are and the leadership. And so I've been here doing what I've done for all of these years. And I know you gotta.
Thank you.
I just appreciate everything that you did for me today. Thank you so much, Livonia. Thank you all so much. And you know, I'm here. I'm going to be there to help make sure we get our next president in the White House. I was with her and probably going to be traveling with her. So thank you all so much. I love this. Thank you.
One of the highest ranking African American women in Congress today, hailing all the way from the great state of California. Not only has this woman stood the test of time in leadership, being inspired by Shirley Chisholm years ago, and has since then climbed the ladder. You know how some people, how some people are just given the leadership roles, or they take the elevator up to the leadership roles. This young woman has taken the stairs all the way to Congress and has led the way every step of the way. I want everybody to stand to their feet and give a rousing round of applause for Congresswoman Barbara Lee.
Congressman Barbara Lee, a voice for the people. Congressman Barbara Lee is a forceful, progressive voice in Congress, dedicated to social and economic justice, international peace, and civil rights and human rights. First elected in 1998 to represent California's 9th Congressional District, the Democratic lawmaker has a reputation for principled and independent stands, unafraid to take on the tough issues and speak her mind for her constituents, for a more just America, and for a safer world. A social worker by profession, she has been a lifelong advocate for constituents, families, and other assessing government services. Congresswoman Lee has been a strong proponent of safe communities, addressing hunger, environmental justice, and universal health, just immigration policies, the establishment of a living wage, reproductive health care rights, and affordable housing, including the creation of a national housing trust fund. Her accomplishments include authoring and co-authoring every major piece of legislation dealing with global HIV, AIDS issues since she was elected to Congress. After the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, the Congresswoman was the lone vote against a resolution that gave the president virtually unlimited authority to use force against unspecified organizations, individuals, or nations for an unlimited period of time. She has consistently fought to stop endless wars, to reduce conditions that produce conflict and injustice. Congressman Lee is a member of the House of Appropriation Committee and chair of the Subcommittee on State and Foreign Operations.
First, let me just thank you, Livonia and Johnny, who I've known since I've known Shirley Chisholm. God, and thank you so much for this really very humbling moment and this award, because it is just, and I'll tell you why it's so meaningful in just a minute, but I just want to thank you because this is one of these, you know, in the Kan language of the Ghanaian people, you have these Sankofa moments, this beautiful bird moving forward, but in order to move forward, the bird has to look backwards and see where we came from. Well, this is one of those moments, and I want to thank you for that. And, of course, to our party chair, let me just tell you, my sister, how much I appreciate and love you. You have led this Democratic Party to be what it is today, so that we'll be able to elect our first black woman as president. And that's because of you, Virgie, and I know it. I know the deal. And Lottie, I'm so glad to see you. You've held it down for black women and for women throughout this country. And so I'm really grateful for everything, because we never could have done what we've done if it hadn't been for you. Where is Al? Al, where is I got you. Al, where is he? I have his pen. He's still helping me out. But I wanted to say to all of you who have worked on the Hill, who know the Hill, and who are here today, just welcome to your capital. Also, I shared earlier with Livonia, I was with Shirley in 1984 when she founded the NCBW. She founded it in San Francisco, and it was around my birthday, July 16th. That's when the Democratic Party was having its convention. And that was when Geraldine Ferrara was running for vice president. Now, you know there were big issues there during that time, and that's how this great organization emerged as a result. Shirley didn't take any mess. And so she said, we're going to do our own thing. And that's how she founded the NCBW. And it was really a very special moment for myself, because I had gotten, and if you've seen the movie Shirley, then you know there's a character, Barbara Lee, so you kind of maybe know that little story, right? But I was so happy she did that, because I knew then that black women were going to have a place in this political space to be ourselves and to do our thing, because we know that we have been the backbone of this Democratic Party. And so NCBW just was formed to take it to the next level. I also had, and she mentored a lot of black women around the country, a lot of women. And I'll never forget when I decided to run for the California legislature in 1990. I have a picture, and I'm going to give this to you for your archives. It was taken in New York, in Detroit, 1991 National Political Congress of Black Women, with myself at the podium and Shirley Chisholm sitting right next to me. She had called me and she said, little girl, and she called me little girl till the day she died, you get up here to this conference, because I want everybody to get to know you, because I want these black women behind you when you run for the California legislature. And that was in Detroit in 1991. Oh yes, that was in Detroit. Absolutely. And so, fast forward to here we are today, standing on the shoulders of this great woman. Here today, and I want to make this announcement very quickly, that, you know, to receive the Congressional Gold Medal of Honor, you have to have Democrats and Republicans supporting the effort. Well, we're almost there to get it done. You need 290 votes, Virgie, because she deserves the Congressional Gold Medal. She deserves it. And so we're working on that. And don't forget, November 30th is the anniversary. She will be 100 years old, 100 on November 30th. So we need to remember that as we move forward and have another big celebration all over the country in honor of our great hero, Shiro. And yes, I was in Gary, Indiana at the National Black Political Convention. And so I know the deal that went down there too. Yeah. So just know that Shirley Chisholm stood up to all the challenges, and she pushed back on every issue that came before her, and she was a fighter. And now we have somebody who is a fighter who's going to be in the White House.
In
as
the
our
White
next
House.
president. So thank you again.
I'll see you at the inaugural. Yes, Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so very much. Thank you. And this is the ring that she just told me something. I'm going to tell. I'm going to, you know, show it, hold it. What? This ring.
In front of the microphone.
Tell us about the ring. One more thing. This is very important. One more thing. I know.
Okay, Queen Elizabeth, Shirley Chisholm went to Great Britain, and Queen Elizabeth presented her with a ring. And this is the
And
ring.
guess who has
that
it?
Queen Elizabeth presented her. So I had to wear it today as I receive this beautiful award. So thank you.
Do you know how bad sisters are? I'm trying to tell you, I thought I knew a lot, Rhonda. I thought I was reading and doing my history, and I ran up against a sister who's alive, looking good, saved lives overseas, like 20,000 miles away. I'm not good at the distance, but you get my drift. Came out, was wounded now. Ain't no Band-Aid on this one. And came out. Do you know there's a sister in the house who has a Purple Heart? I'd like to welcome her to the podium to receive the Metropolitan Detroit Congress of Black Women's honor. Antoinette. Dr. Antoinette Scott. Antoinette Scott, a native of Washington, D.C., Antoinette served in the United States Army and is a Purple Heart recipient. During her tenure in Iraq, Antoinette was severely injured by a IED explosion device. Antoinette was a driver of a 5-ton vehicle in which she was transporting soldiers to Baghdad International Airport. The convoy was attacked by enemy fire. Antoinette sustained the worst injuries. Antoinette is a passionate author of health, wellness, and financial education ideas for women. Antoinette serves her community by teaching financial literacy as a licensed life insurance producer and a solar energy advisor. Antoinette is the treasurer of the Dunbar Alumni Federation and Shadow Military Order of the Purple Heart Maryland Chapter 2222. Antoinette is a lifetime member of the Military Order of Purple Heart, a member of the DC DAV, and a member of the DC chapter of the VFW. Antoinette has been afforded the pleasure to speak to live audience about her experiences as a female wounded warrior and authored a book. She has been the speaker for the Business and Professional Women, as well as one of the keynote speakers for the Women's Memorial Arlington Cemetery chapter. Radio broadcaster with WHUR 96.3, Washington, D.C., NPR, Washington, D.C., and live interviews. And she has also appeared as a lead in a commercial produced by the Veteran United for D.C. Statehood.
This Unbought, Unbossed award presented to Antoinette V. Scott for being a champion of breaking down barriers and challenging the status quo. That is powerful. And these awards were sponsored by African American Leadership Institute and SuperMajority. So thank you. And they also get a certificate from the National Congress of Black Women and a supermajority bag, and a letter from Vice President Harris. That is in the bag.
So deserving. Who knew? It's your time, baby.
It's all right.
Thank you. It's been about 21 years since that day when I served in Iraq. When I was injured.
First of all,
Let's say
Iraq
made it home. She made it home. She saved lives.
It never gets old. It was real then. It's still real today. We still have troops serving all around the world. And I could never, ever say thank you enough to all the support I had. And most importantly, thank you to God. I pray every day. And I refuse to accept that even though we were at war, that I wouldn't make it home. Every day I declared, I'm coming home. Even through the explosion and injuries and all those things that happened, just coincidentally, the surgery and all the treatment I needed was right here in D.C. at Walter Reed. So by hook or by crook, I made it home. Thank you.
Jara Butler has created this part of SuperMajority where SuperMajority was just online. Like, we were living in an online world. And Jara was like, no, we need to get on the ground and organize. It is possible and we can do it. In 2022, we started our first organizing on the ground. Nationally, we contacted over 3.6 million. In Michigan, we did like 1.2 million in Michigan, helped to flip 4 counties, did the trifecta, and it's because Jara Butler pushed for us to start this program, A Black Woman. So I want to introduce you all, and I love her, Jara Butler.
Hello, my name is Jara Butler, and I'm the Chief Impact Officer at SuperMajority, an organization singularly focused on building women's political power to create a future where we are all truly equal. SuperMajority is proud to sponsor this reception, and personally, I am deeply honored to be recognized by the National Congress of Black Women, which was founded by so many women that I view as heroes: Shirley Chisholm, Coretta Scott King, C. Delores Tucker, and Dr. Dorothy Height. At SuperMajority, we believe that those closest to the pain, particularly women of color, should be front and center in addressing our nation's most pressing issues. This is a value that guides us, a value that guides me, and our work would not be possible without all the incredible women, past and present, who have been leading this work at the National Congress of Black Women.
I want to first of all thank the Metro Congress of Black Women for acknowledging me. For a long time, especially in the work that we do, I've been the only. And I remember Michelle Obama, actually, I was 25 years old. I was in a room and she said, "We have a moral obligation not to sit on our blessings. So if you're there, you need to bring others with you." And that is how I live and how I lead, because there can't just be me. Because when I leave this earth, there's got to be somebody to take my place. But I don't want just one, I want two. And I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm elated, but I'm thinking about two people, my daddy. If you can't tell, I'm a daddy's girl. And I lost him 2 years ago. But I hope he's proud today. Because he worked every day. He worked his fingers to the bone to put me in private school. He worked his fingers to the bone to get me to college. I graduated from the University of Georgia on a scholarship. Thank you. He worked every single day for me to have these opportunities. And the second person is probably judging me from heaven and telling Jesus to get out of the way is my grandmother. And I'm going to tell you about her because every room that I'm in, I want her name to be known. She wasn't, her name was Hattie Bagby. She was born in 1900. She was the first in her family to be born outside of the institution of slavery. My great-grandmother was born not far from where I currently live in Alexandria, Virginia, on a plantation. My grandmother saw freedom. She saw a lot of things, but the thing that she saw for me is she told my mother when I was 4 years old, because my grandmother taught me how to read, so I was reading at 2.5, 3 years old. And what was explained to me is that she said if there was ever come a day when you have to take a test or someone has to challenge you, I want her to be ready. My grandmother never told me that there were limits. The world did, but she told me I could do anything. And so when people say, boy, you're confident, or you sure do have a lot of pride, I'm like, I do, because I'm Hattie Mae Bagby's granddaughter. So I'm grateful for this award, and I want to dedicate it to my daddy, my mommy who couldn't be here. She's with me. She just celebrated 75 years. And to my grandmother, because without her, I wouldn't be here. And because of the black women that came before her, my great-grandmother Lavinia, who never got these opportunities, I do it for her. And I hope that the next generation does it for me and for everyone in this room, because it's more than just us. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
I have to tell you about this amazing woman called Lottie Shackelford, who people like Johnny Rice knew for decades. And many of you probably know her, or at least heard her name. I had the privilege of meeting her in 2017 when I got elected to the DNC Black Caucus. And since that time, she has been such a mentor and has counseled and responded. I get twofers because I got Virgie and I got Lottie. You can't beat it. You can't beat that. But Lottie has been so amazing. And as I talk to people that I meet, as I travel around the country with Virgie, they tell me all these amazing things about both of them and all the things that Lottie was a first female mayor in Arkansas. So there's a lot of firsts in this room. Yes, of all places, right? And so,
have your picture on the flyer.
so you know, it is just such a privilege to me to know her and to call her a mentor and a friend. And we are so happy today that at NCBW we get to acknowledge her in front of all of you guys and give her her flowers. Very important to do. While people are here, thriving, leading, her flame guides many of us through the passages that we'll go through as life goes on. As Livonia said about one of the honorees, you know, they make a way for you and they make a path for you. And she's done that for so many people in addition to me. And so I just want to bring Lottie up to accept her award and just introduce her to some of you.
Well, I want to thank each of you, and to Grace, and to Livonia, and the young lady, Shauna. You all are doing the work, and I truly, truly thank you. Giving honor to God, from whom all blessings bestow. I am very humbled by this honor, and I want each of you to know I take this very sincerely, because whatever opportunity I have been afforded, I always know there were so many others, all deserving, who never got the opportunity I got. And my pledge always is to try and make certain someone else gets an opportunity to do the things that the Lord sees fit for them and they see for themselves.
Absolutely.
Go forth, go forth, go forth.
You can't come to someone's home and not acknowledge them and bring a gift. And so we're bringing a gift to show our mayor of the District of Columbia how we appreciate her.
Muriel Bowser is the 7th elected mayor of Washington, D.C. She has a strong record of creating a bold urban policy agenda, making tough decisions in a high-stakes environment, and shaping a diverse economy. On November 8, she became only the 2nd person elected 3 times as mayor of Washington, D.C. She is the first African-American woman to be elected for 3 4-year terms as mayor of an American city. Since taking office, Mayor Bowser has boldly reset DC's global and national competitiveness, sped up affordable housing production, diversified the DC economy, oversaw consistent enrollment growth across the district's public schools to its highest enrollment since home rule, increased satisfaction in city services, refocused our efforts around achieving statehood, and invested in programs and policies that allow more families to live and thrive across the city. Mayor Bowser is a strong leader and crisis manager with 25 years of management and financial experience balancing budgets, achieving AAA bond ratings, and clean audits. Mayor Bowser guided Washington, D.C. through COVID-19, racial injustice protests, pandemic-spawned crime and unemployment increases, and the events of January 6th. She commissioned the first Black Lives Matter public street mural, which established a safe area for police and demonstrators using public art, inspiring dozens of others around the world. Mayor Bowser made and kept bold promises on the creation of affordable housing, a hallmark of her service to D.C. And she has been at the forefront of national thought leadership on affordable housing and homelessness. Mayor Bowser tells everyone that there's only one job better than being mayor of her hometown, and that's being Miranda's mom. Mayor Bowser was blessed to become a mom by adoption and proud to show everyone that there are many ways to be a family. She and Miranda call Ward 4 home.
That was indeed a gift, a very lovely tribute, but then I realized I have to update my bio. I have to say, I'm Muriel Bowser, the D.C. mayor, and I live rent-free in Donald Trump's head. I gotta update it. Gotta update it. And I hope all of y'all going to them sorority parties. Y'all live rent-free in his head too. And I hope you invite me to that sorority party on November 5th when we turn the page on you know who. But I'm not doing no politics. Not doing no politics. I just want to thank the Congress on Black women for your hard work. I want to recognize and honor our dear Shirley Chisholm. And it means a lot to me to get this award for being unbought and unbossed. I don't know that I would have fully appreciated it in 2015 when I became mayor. Then I was the baby mayor. Now I'm kind of the dean of mayors. And I'm going to update my bio on another point. I talk about how there are no other Black women who have been elected to as many 4-year terms as me, but the truth is there aren't that many, I don't think any mayors that have. Maybe the mayor of Buffalo. All right, Buffalo. And so I am just honored to have the privilege to serve my hometown, but to be a leader and to lead in the way that honors the spirit of Shirley Chisholm and all of the Black women who are fighting for us to be recognized. And all of the women who have been feeling the anxiety
and the frustration and the disappointment that we still live in a country that would dare say to a woman who has been elected the district of attorney in San Francisco, the attorney general for the largest state attorney general's office in our country, and the vice president of our nation, that she's dumb, she can't talk, she can't lead. And for all of the women who have been like twice as good as the next person who is not even prepared at all, we're all Kamala. And so I just want to just acknowledge all of that kind of anxiety and angst and trauma that we're feeling in this process, but also know that that's our energy, that's our food, that is our what we have to do to get through the next few weeks, because she's going, oh, okay, I'm not doing politics. I was just going to say she's going to win. She's going to win. And then in January, we'll be your host again, because are we going to have an inauguration in Washington, D.C.? So when the president goes down Pennsylvania Avenue, she's going to look to her right and see a building that we are so proud to be on America's Main Street that is owned by the National Congress for Black Women. So we are just so proud of you. We love you. We're fighting each and every day for you. And we got to keep supporting our elected officials, because we're all maligned and questioned and attacked. And we have to, that little supportive text that we send, it matters. That little $51 contribution that we make, it matters. The 10 people that we can call to say, let's go, time to vote, it counts. So let's do all of the things to support each other, whether we're elected officials, appointed officials, whether we work in our schools, military, churches, corporate offices, boardrooms. We can keep pushing each other and supporting each other. And thank you very much for this honor. It really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Let's give our mayor another round of applause. Let's give it up, come on. It is not an easy job. No other than to give a few words of encouragement and support. Our very own activist and actor, Mr. Hill Hopper.
What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Hey, I'm gonna cede one of my minutes to my favorite Congresswoman, Cori Bush. So I'm gonna talk quick. Listen to this.
There we go.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Bobby Kennedy said the future does not belong to those who are fearful of bold projects and new ideas, but rather the future belongs to those who can blend passion, reason, and courage into a personal commitment to the great ideals and enterprises of American society. We need your passion, we need your plan, your reason, your brilliance, and most importantly, we need your courage. And those of you who know the etymology of the root of the word courage, it's the French word coeur, which means heart. It's not about the antithesis of fear, it's about bringing your heart to the table. We need your brilliance to change this world, and we need you. And I want to bring up Congresswoman Cori Bush.
So let me just say, I'm so honored you all. Thank you so much for the standing O, and for folks who are truly unbought and unbossed, like my friend Hill, and how you stood up for me when you didn't have to stand up for anyone, when you could have just done your own thing, and you chose to stand up for me. Let me tell you, sometimes unbought and unbossed means that I put it all on the line for the people, because even though I may lose, what looks like a loss means the people won. And so in this moment, that's what we have to offer. What is it that we're willing to put on the line? And so sometimes it means our name and our reputation so that the other people can thrive. You all, that's this moment. So what are you willing to give? What are you willing to do for this movement, this moment, for our legacy, for our children's children? And I'm just so honored that you all made the decision to stand up. And I'm so honored that I get to be your friend. And I'm so honored that you all continue to lift us up. So thank you so much, and let's win.
I just want to say that my goal in life is to make sure that I stay and permanently parked in the heads of my enemies from now until the day I die. Okay, now that I've kind of cooled off and everything, let's get down to business. My shirt says vote because we've got 54 days. 54 days. And I'm going to tell you something. Polls don't vote. Debates don't vote. Your hashtag doesn't vote. People vote. So here's the deal. At the beginning of July, at July, we had a GOTV universe, and the universe is who we're going to be talking to. There's about 1 million people, about 1 million. July 27th, which was a day I say she'll live in infamy because that is a historic day. We should celebrate every single day because we worked really, really hard. When you think about it, the first black woman, the first black slave to be brought here was a black woman, and the purpose was for her to breed in 1619. But we're about to put a black woman in the house that black people built. So on July 27th, I went to church, and I said I'm going to take a nap. Should never do that. But when I came out, it's like we're in a new day. So we have seen our GOTV universe multiply by 50%. And do you know who's leading that? Young black women, 18 to 35. Now, everybody is talking about the suburbs. Everyone's talking about, oh, who's this and that. Like, we're not in the suburbs, like we're not in rural communities. But who we're not talking about is black women, especially young black women. SuperMajority is, because we've been talking to them since January. We need you to join us. We need you now to join us because we have a universe that is about 5 million, and that's a good problem to have. We've got 5 states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, write it down, take notes. Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. And let me tell you right now, between Georgia and North Carolina, we have almost 2 million young women 18 to 35 that need to hear from somebody between now and Election Day. And let me leave you with another number. In 2022, the year that was supposed to be the red wave, they met a pink and orange brick wall. But what we found out that only 21% of young black women 18 to 35 were contacted by a candidate, a party, or an organization. SuperMajority wants to change that because we cannot win without them, and they cannot win unless, 1, we're listening, and 2, we're giving them something to vote for. So that is what we are doing. I say this, take your hashtag to a ballot box. TikTok on your way to go vote. Don't talk to me about your Instagram story unless it's you have an I voted sticker. Everybody needs to make a plan. If you've made a plan, then come help us call some people, because last night we called North Carolina. We called voters in North Carolina. We had called 8,500. We got almost 100 commit to votes. I want more because I don't lose. I don't lose. And I'm going to tell you, I was around in 2016. That wasn't a good day. But I'm going to tell you, I was in Detroit on the Easter weekend, and I said, in my heart of hearts, what I was thinking of is that, at night, it looks bad. It looks hard. you don't see the sun. But on the third day, that's when the sun shines. That's when you see it all. You see it much more clearly because the third day is our hope. We can't just survive on hope. We've got to do the work. So I hope you will join us in doing the work. But even if you don't join us, you start with somebody. Right. Because if you know to vote, tell 3 people to vote, because look, nothing is going to be given to us. We are going to have to take it. And I'm going to tell you right now, when my staff asked me what my goal was this. I want to have such a resounding victory that you never try to come back here again. That's where I am. I hope you're hungry for it too. Thank you all so much, and please find out supermajority.com. I'm there. You can also talk to Tashana. All right. Thank y'all so much.